Every year, billions of people make New Year's resolutions, hoping to spark positive change. The most popular are exercise more, lose weight, get organized. And I have to admit, all of those are on my list. But today what we're going to talk about is trading resolutions. Hello everyone, I'm Kathy Lean with BK Forex. And in this video, I'd like to share my trading resolutions for 2023. 2022 was a very good year for my ZIP trades. While the Dow lost 8% and the NASDAQ lost more than 30% of its value, my ZIP trades made more than 4,200 pips, or 42% on one-to-one lever. Since I've been trading ZIP for years, I continue to expect strong positive performance, but everyone, myself included, has room to improve. My husband hates it when I say that we can always be better. It is always important to review your trades, your performance, to identify areas of improvement. As I review my 2022 trades, there are 5 things I'd like to do better. Number 1, don't miss out on post-NFP opportunities. Number 2, focus on the setup, ignore everything else. Number 3, let the profits run. Number 4, trust the setup. And number 5, don't rush trades. Knowing when not to trade is just as important as knowing when to trade. One of my hard, fast rules is to never trade ahead of the U.S. jobs report, non-farm payrolls, because NFPs is notoriously volatile. But after the non-farm payroll report, there can be some very generous, easy to identify trades. Take this week, for example. The U.S. jobs report was mediocre, but the Canadian jobs report was hot. 104,000 jobs were created in December in Canada, 10 times more than expected. The U.S. jobs report was mixed. Non-farm payrolls beat, but job growth was less than the prior month, and average hourly earnings growth slowed. At 10 a.m. New York time, 90 minutes after the jobs reports, a ZIP sell signal formed in $CAD. With such a clear signal supported by data, I jumped into the trade once the 9 a.m. candle low was broken, for a trade that went as much as 70 pips in my favor. The month before, we had a similar opportunity in Eurodollar. The U.S. jobs report was good, but not good enough, with job growth beating but slowing from the previous month. Eurodollar formed a ZIP buy signal after the data. 70 pips could be made in the New York session, followed by another 40 pips in Asia, for a total of 110 pips. In November, U.S. job growth slowed and the unemployment rate increased. Dollar-yen formed ZIP sell signals before the number was released, but as you remember, I don't trade before the data because no one can really predict the outcome. But once the data was out and dollar-yen confirms the sell trades by closing below the indicator line, a short would have run more than 60 pips in under 2 hours. NFP is an exciting time to trade, and the post-data trades can be very generous. In the coming year, if the ZIP setup forms, I resolve to jump on rather than miss those post-NFP opportunities. Number 2, focus on the setup and ignore everything else. I'll have to admit, I can be guilty of taking trades outside of my ZIP setup because I feel that the currency pair may be reversing or about to form a ZIP. I'm right probably about 60-70% of the time, but I'm also wrong 30 to 40% of the time. And when I'm wrong, I feel so bad about breaking my rules. The winning trades make me feel good, but they do nothing to reinforce and confirm the effectiveness of my strategy. And it's just not worth the psychological toll of the losing trades or of beating myself up for breaking my rules. My third resolution is to let the profits run. I have to do a much better job of letting my profits run. I'm guilty of banking pips too early. A lot of that has to do with my promise or goal to make 100 pips a week for our BK Forex members. So I like to bank pips when I get them. But ZIP works, and I need to let the profits run more, especially when I'm at a break-even stop for the second half of the position, or I'm already up quite a bit because there really is no significant downside. This Eurodollar trade from last week was a perfect example. I sold Eurodollar at 106.08. The first target hit, and I closed actually my entire position at the first target level rather than letting the rest of the trade run. But as you can see, if I did let the rest of the trade run, the second target was hit, and it went even further as Eurodollar extended a significant move lower. My trading resolution number 4 is to trust the setup. I'm also guilty of getting out of trades too quickly and not giving them the space and time opportunity to work themselves out. And sometimes I'll end up reloading the trade at a worse price. This happened at pound dollar this week. I went short at 120.18, closed the trade at 120.26 because I was worried that I was going the wrong way. And I was already short euro dollar, so I didn't want to end up with 2 losing trades. I did end up getting back into pound dollar at 120.14, which is a worse price, and pound dollar eventually went my way. So I really should have just stuck with the trade and gave it the breathing room that it needed, because as you can see in this chart, it became a very generous trade and profitable trade as well. And my last trading resolution is to not rush trades. I publish trades twice a day, once at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Asia Open, and once at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the New York Open. When I lay on those trades, I'll often put them out as I see them because I don't want to miss out on the opportunity. And then I go back and I add another position or cut one because another looked better, which can be confusing for some of my members. So my New Year's resolution is to take my time and don't rush the trades. What are your New Year's resolutions? Share yours in the comment section of this video. And if you want to kick off the year with profits, become a member of BK Forex. We've already made 150 pips to start the month, and there's a very generous discount link in the description of this video if you want to learn how to make pips with SIP.